So what is up, guys? Today I wanted to start off, before I start any other video, I want to apologize for not being able to put up a Pop Culture Wednesday video last week and actually putting up a skit instead. And the previous week we weren't able to put it out on time, and through this I realized that one, I had midterms, and two, it's kind of rough scheduling. So we've decided to change it from an every week schedule to a bi-weekly schedule, because we feel like that would work a little bit better to our liking, and maybe we could put up videos more frequently. We have more time instead of having to rush it out and make better content this way. With that being said, I'm going to move on to the video.
I put a shock to your system. Shock!
So today I want to speak to you about Static Shock, one of my favorite heroes in the WB Morning lineup before it became 4Kids. They changed Mr. Popo blue. That's all you need to know. So we're going to start talking about the hero Virgil Hawkins, who actually has abilities of electronic phenomena generation, meaning he had abilities like shooting lightning from his hand, being able to see people's auras via electricity, telling them whether they're human, robotic, or alien, or otherwise. He even had the ability to turn on electronics via touch, or hover across the city using magnetism, repelling his board off the ground. I mean, he had a lot more other powers, which I could probably explain and put into detail, but for the sake of time, I'm going to move on. I'll probably put a list of anything up here. If not, I apologize, and let's move on. Before you guys get the idea that Static was initially made for the DC, I'm gonna stop you right there. He was actually made for Marvel, being actually inspired by Spider-Man. Unfortunately, things didn't work out. Marvel didn't accept him. The reason for this was because Dwayne McDuffie, he actually stated that he was disappointed in the Spider-Man of the time. Not because it was bad or anything, it was because he was so used to the idea of a teenage Spider-Man. And McDuffie stated that, "I've always been partial to Spider-Man as a child, particularly the teen version, and was disappointed with the adult married to a fashion model Spider-Man who was running around in the comics at the time." Now, that's not to say that Spider-Man wasn't good at the time, but I'm guessing he was just used to the old-fashioned Spider-Man where you had teenage problems and wanted to bring that kind of teenage angst out. So therefore, Virgil Hawkins was born, aka Static. Now, Static initially started the comic off kicking ass and taking names as he went throughout the city of Dakota, or Dakota City. But he was flying throughout Dakota City, kicking ass and taking names until he got his ass whooped and ended up giving his name to Bay, his love interest. Now, initially, Static was a young teenager in high school. Going throughout the city, he was a scientific genius. He was into RPG games. He was kind of a nerd, and being that he was a nerd, he was picked on in school. He was dealing with financial problems. He was clearly inspired by Spider-Man / Peter Parker. Now, be that as it may, he actually started off his superhero career in a different way, whereas Peter Parker got a spider bite and actually lost his Uncle Ben. Virgil Hawkins was given a gun by his friend Larry Wade, who was in a gang, and it was an attempt to get rid of Biz Money 8, the school bully that was constantly picking on Virgil. Now, being that Virgil is the hero of the story and he obviously didn't have the heart to do it, he actually threw the gun in the water. But being in that area at the time was not necessarily safe because a gang war soon later broke out. And the cops came in to stop it, secreting or throwing out a certain tear gas. This tear gas was meant to trap the people who escaped and subdue whoever they could at the time. And somehow it backfired and mutated certain people, either passively by giving them powers or disturbingly changing their faces and making them into hideous monsters. Some of them just flat out died. Like, I don't get how that would happen. Like, what did the scientists do in the lab? Did they just say, you know what, let's just pull a Professor X, throw in sugar, spice, and everything nice? Luckily, Virgil actually escaped after destroying drones unknowingly using his abilities. When he woke up the next morning, he found that electronic devices were clinging to him magnetically or turning on just by his touch. And after seeing cruelty and brutality of the police as well as the gangs, after honing his skills a little bit further, Static decided to take to the streets and actually start fighting crime on his own. And thus, the Static Electricity hero was born. Our very own second black superhero with electronic powers. Yeah, I know, you're gonna hate me for this, but Black Lightning was original. He was the first one, and he actually was on DC before Static was. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to end the video here on the idea of the origins, and if anything, I can do a video later on explaining the further history of Static. But for now, I'm going to just let you know Initially, he did start off at Milestone Comics, but Milestone Comics shut down in 1997. After this happened, Warner Brothers ended up taking up Static Shock. Good old-fashioned Warner Brothers, always getting us in the clutch. They decided to pick up Static and put him on a TV series, which we all loved and learned from 2000 to 2004. Now, after this, Static actually was brought back in 2001 into the comic called Rebirth of the Cool. After this, he actually joined the Teen Titans for a temporary time in the comic book history, and even got a new 52 reboot with a really short series, unfortunately. But that's all I have for today for you guys. Now, I know that this was a little bit short, and even if it wasn't short, I know I could have gone in more detail on the video, on the history of Static, but for the time being, I actually want to know if you want to hear more about this character. If you want to hear more about this character, I'm definitely willing to do a part 2 in the near future. If not, I will do a history on one of the heavy hitters of the DC or Marvel universe. If you want to know about the inspiration of the Hulk and how the Hulk actually represented teenagers of the 1960s, or if you want to see how Superman actually represented the Jews in the immigrant struggle during World War II. I mean, let me know what you think, what you want to see. Either way, I'm going to choose one next week, so if you don't, I'll just choose one of my favorites. It would be nice if you could subscribe to this very beautiful channel because we have very beautiful people running it. Now, on top of that, if you could smack the like button like your life depended on it. Like, I don't care what phone you have an OtterBox case over that S5 or that Note 4. I smack it so hard the OtterBox case just disintegrates. It's just flatline the phone. I'll see you next time, and we'll talk about whatever you guys choose or whatever I choose. Thanks for watching, and thanks for taking the time out of your day to give us attention, and I appreciate it.
Meme of the week. Yeah.